here come a few more from the south. Since it's 10:30 and I don't think anybody else is coming, but if they do, they'll miss a little bit. First off, Robin Graham has something to talk about.
Morning. I was just asked to do this, and I'm just happy to be able to be the one to be able to say this for you on behalf of me, and I'm sure all of you. You know how much thought and time has been put into that dining services presentation that was given to us. I would like to commend and thank these guys for a job well done. Thank you. And now, very quickly, a public service announcement. Thursday, pardon my shaking hands. Thursday, FlyPro is coming to town for the first time in years. They will be here in the town hall. We'll have some coffee and goodies for you. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning, Thursday. Please be here. It's your opportunity. It's your opportunity to speak directly with the FlyPro people about what's going on with the legislature and what's in our future. I commend it to all of you. It's going to be a good meeting. While FlyPro represents senior citizens in CCRCs like this, there's another organization that complements them that also works with the legislature. That's the Florida Silver-Haired Legislature. This is a statewide group that's been around since the early 70s, and they're coming to talk to us. They'll be here next Monday at 10 o'clock. You'll see flyers, but we've had so much stuff going on lately that there hadn't been any room to even put up the flyers. So please, mark your calendars for those two events. I think you'll find them both of great interest. Thank you.
Now Andrea has something she wants to say.
Just housekeeping.
I'll be right back. Good morning, everybody. Instead of that far out in the future, I want to talk to you about this afternoon. Woo! The Clearwater Historical Society is coming to tell us a bit about what happened in this area before we all got here. They're making a presentation. We can discuss it with them. I think it's a good idea for us to find out what Clearwater was. Did you know Safety Harbor predates Clearwater? Yes. Anyway, so I didn't. But there are things to be learned, I think. And so this afternoon at 2 o'clock, if you live right in this room, so if you live in the south, be out front by 1:45 to get on a golf cart or whatever to come on over, okay? So 1:45 for the south, 2 o'clock for you guys in the north, okay?
All right, I don't know how many of you were able to go to one of the informational meetings last week about dining changes, but you've had a few days to think it over and mull it over, and the entire dining team is here this morning. This is going to be a Q&A, question and answer, so if you have any questions, they're here to answer for you. Somebody.
I'm not gonna plug. All right. Any questions?
We need microphones.
Yeah, we need a microphone. We have a packet.
Ricky's got it. Ricky's going to be the Jerry Springer today. I'm going to be passing this mic off. Oh, okay.
I'll do it.
That way she doesn't have to.
I have a question.
Yes.
May I go ahead?
Yes, you may.
All right. If I order a hamburger, I only eat half of it.
Yes.
I want to take it home.
Right.
You said we couldn't.
Right.
I don't want to order a half a hamburger because I'm paying the same as everybody else for a whole hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
Every cafe, restaurant, Bascom's that I know of lets you take the food you don't eat home.
I don't want to misspeak, but I want everyone to understand that when you go to Bascom's, you're paying $40, $50 to have a dinner. It's $9 here. Now, besides that, my thought is, listen, we're trying to get everybody into the dining room and not do to-goes. It's very, very important to us. Very important, because the amount of cost that it is for the to-goes and the time that it takes is causing all this problem. Now, if you come into the dining room on the day that you want to come into the dining room and you say, you know what, I just don't feel like eating a lot, have that to go. Now you have your full hamburger. There is no conversation, there is no argument, there is no taking your food. And I understand sometimes when you come into the dining room, at that point you felt like you could eat it all, but you can't. This is something that we have to stop now, because we can't just sit there and micromanage each and every person and make that decision, as Brant had said, about what is a to-go and what isn't. When somebody goes to the salad bar, they get a huge salad, they get a soup, and they say, whoop, I'm full, I'll take my meal to go. So we can't really, change what our thoughts are about what is able to take out and what is going to be here. So we've made it across the board that what you have in the dining room is your meal of the day. If you don't finish it, then you can't take it with you. But we did say that you could take dessert with you, so we're trying to meet it halfway. Or fruit.
I have a comment about that too. If you want to take a hamburger with you, or you want to share it with someone, go to the tavern and pay cash for it, or put it on your
That's
card.
true, you can do that, yes. Yes. I want everybody to be calm and just understand that we're doing what we have to do to protect your investment in the food department. Please understand that. We're not benefiting by this. We're not winning. We're not making money. We're trying to make sure that we're able. Go ahead.
Mrs. Fragman.
I think you should correct the $9 a day, now it's $10 a day because it's one meal a day.
Mhm.
So it's no longer $9, you raise that to $10 now. So I clarify for everybody.
So with the Meal of the Day program, we have removed the dollar amount. It is no longer $10 a day. It is a meal of the day. Think of it as a coupon or a coupon. You get a coupon for a meal of the day. There is no monetary value associated with it.
Your food is inclusive.
You just changed that.
No, it's always been that.
We're looking at, regardless of anything, and how you imagined or saw how the past was, moving forward, that Meal of the Day program is just a coupon for a meal. That is it. There's no monetary value associated with it in any way, shape, or form.
And the tavern has a meal of the day?
And the tavern does have a meal of the day, yes. So if you're on the Meal of the Day program, when the tavern reopens, in the pub at night, you do get that Meal of the Day option in the room directly behind this wall, yes, without a doubt. We're not taking that away. In fact, we're actually adding a lot more to it once we roll out that menu and you get to see it, yes.
Hola.
Hola.
Hola?
Can I switch my dessert for a cup of soup?
No, it is your dessert. That'll be 2 cups of soup.
So we're looking at just a dessert of the day or fruit as a takeaway. But by all means, if you'd like soup 3 or 4 times throughout your meal in the dining room, you can have it for an appetizer and an intermezzo and maybe something as a side if you really like the soup, but we ask that you eat it in the dining room.
Okay, it's been nice, goodbye.
I've been thinking about this ever since we had the meetings. And I think that there are 2 separate issues. First of all, we appreciate our meals. We appreciate the cost. We know absolutely we could not leave this campus and go get what we get for $9 or $10.
Yes.
We know that. and we appreciate that. But I think there are two separate issues. And one is the abuse of the salad bar,
Yes.
and the other is the having not be able to take out leftovers. I think you have to remember that our generation is the generation that grew up with, you gotta clean your plate and you don't waste food.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're hearing is, you can't take it and we're gonna throw it away. That really flies in the face of everything that we've grown up with and we've learned. And so, is there a way that we can address, and I think we can, address the abuse at the salad bar and being able to take home our leftovers? And here's what you just said, Johnny. You said that, in fact, you want to get away from takeout. You're going to get more takeout. Because if I go and I want the chicken on the left-hand menu, or the hamburger, or a sandwich, I can say to myself, well, I've already paid for that meal. Whether it's $9, $10, or whatever, my meal of the day is paid for. So I can either go to the dining room, get the meal of the day, waste half of it and have them throw it away, or I can do takeout, bring it home and have it for lunch tomorrow. So to me, it makes no sense, and I think there are two issues. I think there's a salad bar issue and there's a leftover issue.
I think you have an absolutely valid point, but let me understand something, because you don't waste food, you don't take more than you can eat. We do have half portions, we do have amounts that are, you can order as little or as much as you like. If the food is being wasted, you've ordered too much. You've got to understand that. So when I used to sit down and have dinner, I'd have the meatloaf, the mashed potatoes, the green beans, this, that, this, and I'd eat a third of it, and my mother would be absolutely upset because we had to waste the food. No, I either sat there and ate it, or that was my dinner the next night. My point is that if it continues where people think, okay, well, I'm just gonna order, then Brent will instill that $2.50 surcharge for picking up. You've got to understand something. We cannot continue to go this way. All we've asked is that you just go with this system, try it, and see how it works. It doesn't mean that this is etched in stone forever, that something can't be changed or bent, but we have to stop the bleeding of the money that is being taken out of the dining room and out of your pockets. We're doing this to help you so that we can provide great food, better food, and different things that you can have every day. Maybe our salad bar will be improved immensely. But I know when I put tuna salad on there, I see people that come in with to-goes, and they're getting 2 and 3 scoops.
And it's not only the to-goes, it's the residents that are sitting at the table that you load up on a tuna salad and then scrape it into their Cool Whip to go, or Tupperware to go. You have to respect the food and respect your fellow residents. And the other thing also is that the hamburger keeps on coming up. So this is just me, but if I'm a resident here and I'm gonna go and have a hamburger, maybe I won't have a mound of salad and 2 cups of soup. Maybe I'll have a little bit of half a salad, maybe I won't have the soup, and then I'll be able to finish my hamburger and not have to worry about taking it to go for the next day.
I think that, I agree with that. Maybe you can do something different.
Yes,
too.
order less.
But we have a lot of very intelligent people here who've been very responsible in their jobs over their entire lives. Don't assume that we can't figure that out for ourselves. The problem is there are things that are on the menu that are going to be large. And maybe we don't eat part of it, Ricky, but maybe we do want to try to eat it. There is an issue of, I felt like when I heard the discussion, and I agree with most of what you said, but I felt like I was in 2nd grade and a couple of kids in the class were bad and we all got punished.
So many people, we have so many intelligent residents, as you said, who have figured out a way to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner out of one meal. They figured it out, and they tell new residents that come in. We're not punishing anybody. What we're trying to do is lets you understand that the money that is being actually taken out of the dining room by certain individuals, and it is a large percentage. The people that are doing the responsible thing, we are sorry that this affects you, but it isn't directed towards you. It has to stop. You have to stop it before it gets any worse. And if it gets any worse, I can't tell you what will happen with the quality.
Well, over here first.
1 second, please. So Brant did mention that we cannot police everybody. And we cannot send our 16-year-old kids out there and monitor what you're putting in your pocket. We just can't. So it does have to be an all or nothing policy. And that is purely logistical. And you're right, it is two parts of the same coin, unfortunately. The salad bar and the leftovers, it's the same coin. And unfortunately, that same coin has to be dealt with the same way.
It's also a health issue.
Yes.
Question, at the meal conferences that were offered this past week, there was mention of that there is a trial time to see which plan works for you, and I don't remember what the final date is set where you have to make that choice.
From June 13th to July 1st, it'll be practice for time for the residents and the staff.
Thank you.
And then it will goes into financial effect on July 1st.
Then you have 90 days.
Yeah, and then you have 90 days until the cutoff.
So it'll be what?
You can change once in that
Yes.
period.
Yes, you can change once between July and October.
So now, just correct me if I'm wrong, Brant, they can go on the meal a day plan and stay on that for that 90 days to see if it works for them. And if you think the 21-day plan is better, then go on it. But it's not like you can't try that plan and decide what's best for you.
So by July 1st, every resident needs to have made a choice and registered it with the dining team. And then during that 90-day period, up until October 1st, you have the opportunity to select one plan. And if you don't like it during that first 90 days, you can switch one time. And so you have that option if you select one plan and you say, oh no, this thing was a real mistake. I underestimated what this was going to cost. I think I want to switch back to the meal of the day program. That's the one that seems to make the most financial sense. You'll have that opportunity between July 1st and October 1st.
Hi, I know you guys have brainstormed this a lot.
Years.
And residents here have been talking about it a lot. And there's some that aren't here that have given 3 ideas, brainstorm type ideas of how these issues might be addressed. And I'd just like to throw them out there. Maybe you've considered them, maybe you haven't. One would be removing the items from the salad bar that are so attractive for the problems, like the tuna.
That's just these are suggestions.
These are suggestions.
No,
Can we address each one as you said?
Sure,
Yes.
that's fine with me.
So with the idea, obviously, we have the best salad bar in Pinellas County, or probably in the state of Florida. But with the one thing we will take out of it is gonna be the tuna.
Good.
Now, you all love tuna, but you can get it any day you want. You can get fresh tuna or fresh chicken salad from the back of the house, just ask for it. It's there every day. So it's redundant to have it on the salad bar. So that's what I'm saying. So items that are like that, yes, we would remove them, but it's very minimal because the rest of those items are just staples that we have all the time that we like to change in and out, and the salads that we have are wonderful, so that's not a big issue.
That was just to help stop the bleeding.
Yes, no, I get it.
Secondly, how about if somebody wanted to take their half a hamburger home, they paid $2.50.
I think you'd get more of a kickback from that of
It's
anger.
just to be considered.
I know.
On top of that, we'd have to figure out exactly what a half is. Brant addressed that already. Is it 25%? Is it a half, 50? Is it 75? But is it a to-go? So say you took one bite of your burger and then you decided to go with that, everything except for one bite of burger. So at that point, we're trying to put a yardstick or a measuring stick on the amount of food that's going out. And so you gotta get it turned into all or nothing.
Okay, we all didn't like either one of those, you'll make the last one.
Go for it. There is hope.
Oh, there's no
No hope?
I think I'll just not even.
No, I want to hear it. Yes, please,
He
Bethany.
said if the salad bar's the problem, get rid of the salad.
Definitely not.
Let me tell you something, the salad bar, it costs us, as I said, $4,000 a meal, okay? We could get rid of the salad bar, but we wouldn't be spending $4,000 a week if everybody used it responsibly and didn't take stuff home. That's all there is to it.
Johnny? Yes.
I just want to, my name is Dick, everyone. I've been here over 24 years. I did take a 2-year vacation. But anyway, I've been here for 24 years, and the amount of food that leaves the dining room, whether it's in a Tupperware or a used-to-go box or whatever, people have been doing this for 24 years. And again, they've tried to go over everything with everyone, and food service does not want to be the food police. And, you know, so if no one is taking anything except for their dessert, then so be it. And that makes it pretty easy. Then the kids don't have to be on the lookout, and the managers don't have to intervene, and we don't have to have that difficult conversation with people. But again, from someone who has 24 years in here, Regency Oaks, it has been a problem for all that time. And in terms of the meal a day plan, we did that for years here. I want to say 15 or so. I don't remember, Grant, but there was
32.
Okay.
That was the original plan.
That was the initial plan when Regency Oaks first opened up, and it changed about 5 years ago or so. And it just, we need to go back to the original plan. It's a meal of the day. And if you don't want to eat, then don't eat. You know, it's the next day you can get, again, a really large portion if you're hungry. And, but you never are going to go without. Every day you can get a soup, a salad, the whole 9 yards. And if you don't feel like eating today, I don't a lot of times. When I go home from here, I'll have toast some nights, you know, peanut butter toast. I love it. But I don't eat a big meal every single day. But for the people that want to, it's available.
Can I just make a comment?
You got one clap.
Not necessarily on the meal of the day aspect, but on your takeout and wasting food and going to the dining room and everything. I've always been a takeout person because it's much more efficient for me to do. I have spent the last 2 weeks trying to go to the dining room every day. I've been really trying hard. I have not yet found a time that I can go that isn't, I don't sit and wait to get in. And then when I get in, dinner runs 2 hours. It's really, and I have things that I'm trying to get done.
All right, I can say
Okay?
So to address that, you mentioned that when you go to the dining room and you're at the host desk, you end up waiting for a table. And then once you're at the table, you wait a little bit longer. So, we have addressed this. If anybody goes to a restaurant, what do you do before you go to the restaurant? You make reservations. And so that has been brought up. We are looking towards it. We are moving towards it. And with a reservation system, then that bottleneck goes away and everything becomes streamlined.
But there is not currently a bottleneck except from 5 to 6:30. It's almost constant.
Yes.
You're not gonna, you want more people in the dining room,
Yes.
but they can't be served. It can't work. Unless you have a lot more people serving, it's backing up. You said we shouldn't go at 5. We're gonna go at 5. 5:15, you have about a 25-minute wait. 5:30, about a 20-minute wait. 5:45, that might cut down to a 15-minute wait to get your table. Reservations aren't gonna help. If you got more people.
When we look at our history, the times that we have in the past had reservations were for every holiday or the anniversary dinner. And how many people here right now have had to wait on a holiday for your table to be ready or for extended periods of time out in the dining room to receive your food? I don't think too long. And on the holiday, it's the best deal in town to come here and have your holiday meal. And now, of course, we're talking about that's your meal of the day. If it's a Christmas day, that's your meal of the day. And it is.
Are not here for holidays.
Well, I'm saying, I'm trying to.
You're trying to make a
I'm
point.
trying.
I know, your point is good.
Then
If-
understand that's why the reservations have to be implemented.
I need to interrupt.
If they're successful, they're gonna
Our
continue.
history with reservations for the holidays and the anniversary dinner or any other special meal, we serve hundreds of meals in each dining room, and everyone has a good experience.
And so what Dick said translates to every other day. If the holiday works with reservations, then a random Tuesday will work as well.
One thing, for those of us that have lived here a long time, you know, we moved in here with the meal of the day. And the meal of the day does not say, and you get lunch free the next day. So that's something to remember. Also, when I think about the hamburger thing, it just boggles my mind. Because when you order from the left side, it used to be you really didn't get anything on the right side. You didn't get vegetables to go with it. If you're thinking about a hamburger, you're getting an entree, you're getting a salad with your lettuce and tomato and onion, you're getting your bread with a bun, and I can't think of anybody who's gonna go to McDonald's and say, I want a half a hamburger, that's all I can eat. So, you need to think about that if you're getting the sandwich from the left side. Most of those things are meant to be eat just those things. You don't get all the extras with it, and you take your dessert home.
Yes, you do get the extras if you want.
You get them if you want them, but you don't need them because a hamburger with a bun and with the lettuce and tomato makes the big thick thing, and that's more than just your entree on your meal on the right side of the menu. It takes the place of the entree and the
Hamburger
veggies.
isn't the issue.
Well, that's the issue that we keep hearing every time we meet
That's because we're
is
using that as an
hamburger.
example.
It's not a good example.
Chicken salad
James,
sandwich.
I'd like to say thank you.
Yes.
We don't have a rebuttal for that.
Yes, thank you.
Let's just try it.
Yeah.
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 So, right before you, he's got the microphone. 1 second. We're really just looking at, try it. We've all jumped into new experiences. Sometimes with 1 foot we tippy toe in, and sometimes with 2 feet. Let's just try it. Seriously, as Brant said, nothing's set in stone ever. So, let's just try it. Yes, sir.
Well, one second. I pretty much host Dish Talk every Thursday in the South Grand lobby, and Margaret's there all the time, and thank you for your support. But I always emphasize that you have to give something a shot, whatever it may be in life, because everyone's quick to shoot something down before you even try it. You have no idea what's going to happen. So if you don't give something a shot, then you're not living. You got to give it an opportunity before you knock it. Sorry.
Green light?
Green
light.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Many of the ladies in the audience, have small appetites. Many of the men have large appetites.
Have what?
Large appetites. I'd like to tell you a story about last night's dinner. My bride and I had different entrees. I had salmon, it's delicious. She had ribs, very delicious. Rather generous portion of ribs. So my question is, if she hands me 2 ribs because she's full, can't eat it, gives it to me, am I going to get busted for a second meal?
I can't say, I honestly can't say you would, because you're both paying for a meal.
So it's being consumed in the dining room, Brant, would I be wrong to
You're
say
right.
that?
You're right.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
so you're both paying for a meal, and if you wanna have some of hers, that's absolutely acceptable.
Yes. Johnny, we can share?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
We'll continue. I think what I'm finding though, and believe me, when I look at everyone that's here and I see you in the dining room and I talk to you, you all know that I really want to do, and our department wants to do, what's best for you. But I think a lot of the kickback, a lot of the anger and frustration are from people that are abusing this system. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but understand when you're so angry about it, it's just showing why. When so many times I've walked out after we've had our meetings of this meal plan that we're rolling out and how we're gonna do this, I can't tell you how many times I get support. I love what you're doing, I understand what you're doing, because they're worried about their cost, their interest. And if things continue the way they're going, everybody's gonna be paying more. We wanna just hold off at a level, continue this for a while, and see where it goes. See how it changes, see how things improve. Watch what happens, but you gotta give it a shot, as Ricky said.
I just want to let everyone know that I went to visit a friend in independent living on the East Coast in Delray Beach. We're very fortunate for what we're doing here. Their meals are $30 per day. Their guests' meals are $30 per day. They have the same problems in serving dinner. We sat down for dinner. It took over a half hour before we got an appetizer. All right? Everyone's having the same problems with help. And I just feel that for what we're paying here, and if they have a meal of the day plan, you could use it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, all right? But there's no carryover, and I think we have a great deal here.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Rob. And I also wanted to go back to the reservations, which is, when we have reservations, if you call up and you say, I want to come down at 5 o'clock for dinner, well, the 5 o'clock spot, we've had so many people, but I can get you in at 5:15. Okay? If 5:15 is taken, I can get you at 5:20 or 5:30. If 15 minutes is going to make that big a difference to whatever activity you have, then you can look at an alternative thing. But what's important to understand is, if everybody's slotted for certain times, our servers are not overwhelmed. If you're sitting down for 20 minutes before a server gets there, take a look at the dining room. Now, I'm not saying that it might not be busy. Maybe our servers weren't doing right where they should be, but they're kids and they're human, and we're there to make sure that when we walk through the tables and we find out you've been waiting a long time, I immediately go to the kitchen, and I promise you, within 5 minutes, I'll have your food out to you. But these things we have to work on. So if the reservation system is in place, people will eat at a designated time that's convenient for them, because you can pick the time, and your service it should be completely seamless. That's the word, but it should be, and that's what you're going to have.
Okay.
I think we're dealing with a mindset here. I'm wondering, what other alternatives have you investigated? Have you talked to the people who are violating? How many people are violating the system? Do you give them a smaller box when they want takeout? What are the other alternatives that can be addressed? We have, I'm sorry, according to Brent, 47% dining satisfaction in this facility. I'm not sure that the track we're on with reservations, limitations, no takeout is going to bring that number up.
So, I think the way I have to look at it is, when you're talking about resident satisfaction comes from service. Service is going to come from the reservations. Have we ever had reservations? No. So if we instill reservations, our satisfaction is going to go up. Because as Brant said, and we all say, your food is going to be hotter, the cold food's going to be colder, you're going to get delivered in a timely way, and if you're still hungry afterwards, you can still have more. You can ask for half portions, you can ask for stuff that doesn't have seasonings, or is plain, or have fish. The options you have are phenomenal. What we offer, and what we're gonna continue to offer and improve on is the way that we treat our residents. We will absolutely not point out, because your dignity is the most important thing. We will never point out, you've taken too much food or you're taking from the salad bar. That is unacceptable. We'll never do that. Privately is a different story. We'll acknowledge it. We'll explain to you that it's not acceptable, it's inappropriate, and at that point, different measures are going to be taken. But it has to be done respectfully by our entire team.
Will we be able to make reservations using the app?
Yes, you can use the app to make your reservations.
Hold on, clarify that.
Yes,
Not yet.
so to
Happy to
clarify that, when we roll out the reservations, we'll be using the full count system, which is our current point of sale or POS system. And that system is directly tied to your account and your ordering history and everything else. So at that point, it goes right into the dining room. We will have plenty of meetings when we roll it out, but it will not be through AppyPie. It will be through a program called Full Count.
It will be a program, though. We don't have to talk to somebody on the phone.
We are looking at a completely digital platform where there will not have to be reservations through the phone system. Now, for the people that cannot or refuse to use a cell phone or a computer, yes, the telephone will still be available, or walk-up reservations will still be available. But at the same time, remember that if you walk into a restaurant right now, say Bonefish, and say, I'd like a reservation, you're on the back of the list because you just walked in. So you're gonna get the next available spot. Whereas if you had called ahead, maybe at noon, then you might have got the spot you wanted. Or if you used a digital platform and you did it at 2 in the morning when everybody was asleep, then it works out great. You got the time you wanted.
I would like to say something. And one of the things I would like to say is that for over 40 years, I had 5 restaurants, a hotel, and a convention center. And I think most of you do that. The problem that we have here is called cost. I was an accountant major, and so I knew a little bit about cost, but I just don't know how they can serve what they're serving for that price that we pay. Think about it. There is nowhere in the world where you can get that amount for what they get. The soup here is excellent. I had chefs who worked at the Greenbrier, and I hired them after they worked with a master chef. And I know good food and I know bad food. And one of the things I would say is that our food here is not the best, but it's very good. Our soups here, I would put that soup against any restaurant in the world. Really, your soups are wonderful. I think you have a wonderful opportunity to give these fellas a chance. They're under a lot of pressure with cost. Cost is extremely going higher and higher and higher. And you're going to see more of it because now the wheat is coming into problems, and corn and all those other things because of fertilizer. 50% of the fertilizer came out of Russia. One of the things that I would also say as somebody, an owner that owned these restaurants, we did not make a lot of money on food. We made money on the liquor. The bar held the food. The restaurant, we broke even, we were happy. So you have to understand, liquor isn't really the issue here, it's the food and the cost. And I would say, let's give it a try and see what happens. And then we can make some adjustments.
Thank you. The other thing is, I, as I do twice a week, order the food, and I see the prices going up. My purveyors send me their price list, and I don't want to get into the details about how much stuff has gone up. We know it's gone up almost 15%. But when I turn around and I was paying, X amount of dollars, and now I'm paying $4 more for fresh salmon, I'm not going to go to frozen. I'm going to ask you to understand what we're trying to do, because we have to make sure that every week I want to get the same food, the same quality, And so I have to go to different sources. That's what I've been doing. And it takes so much time away from me. That's why I haven't been in the dining rooms. A lot of people think, you know, I haven't seen you in the dining rooms. I'm in the kitchen now because I'm figuring out how to make everything, every single thing, utilizing everything. I don't get frozen vegetables. We get fresh vegetables. We get fresh food. We get fresh fish, chicken. Everything is fresh. We have individual purveyors that bring us these wonderful quality stuff. We want to continue it. And it's almost going to get to a point we won't be able to unless we have your support. That's the only way we're going to do it. That's why I'm bringing this up now personally, because I said to Ricky, I don't know how we can continue to do it. That's what Emilio says, what so many people say. I don't know how you do it. How do you do it with the prices the way they are? I don't know. It's really threatening our purveyors and saying, hey, if you don't give me a better price, I'm going there. Here's a perfect example. The ribs you had yesterday, we usually get our ribs from Cisco. Okay, our price was here, and I said to my guy, I said, listen, this is what I'm paying. What can you do? He goes, no, I'm $2 more a pound. Honest to God, I was sitting right there. Brant was in the room when my guy called me up and says, I can do $4 a pound, John, as long as you order 5 cases. Well, I need 5 cases, so I ordered it. And these ribs are thicker and more delicious, so I'm going to continue if he gives me that price. That's my job.
Reservations, as Dick tried to point out, we have tried on holidays, it works. Reservations will work. Give it a chance, people. Don't criticize it until we've tried it for a little while. You're going to find out reservations will work. And I know that there are obviously some people who think the salad bar is the problem. The salad bar is a problem, but it is not all of the problem. We have residents who order twice as much as they intend to eat because they want it to go in their Tupperware to go home with them. It happens every day, and you guys know it, and you know who they are. That is the problem. Your neighbors are your problem. The ones that are abusing the system and abusing what is going on now. And that has to be stopped one way or another. Yes, it ticks me off. I eat half my salmon. I love to take the other half home. I can't do that anymore. Okay? I don't like that. So I understand what you're saying about the hamburger. With me, it's not the hamburger, it's my salmon. I will order a half order of salmon from now on because I won't take it home for my breakfast. But it sure is hard to have to do that, and I know why I'm doing it. It is not their fault. It is your fault. People who are abusing the system.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you just have one item on the left side each day, a different one, instead of 5 or whatever they are?
No. That, you mentioned that you wanted to just have one item on the left side of the menu rather than multiple. Every day. And unfortunately with, 400 odd, almost 500 residents here, we need to offer them as many options as possible. And those options come from both the left and the right side of the menu, because you can always count on the left side of the menu. And if we brought that down to just a burger, then I'm afraid it would be abusive to some of the other people, because maybe they can't have a burger, they don't want a burger, or they do want the salmon, or the shrimp louis, or what have you. So at that point, those are just options, and it's not costing us extra money to have a quantified inventory on hand. If we know we're gonna sell 20 salmons every day, it doesn't cost us any more money to have those 20 salmons on hand. It costs us more money when we have 20 salmons on hand and they also order a burger. Or they order the 20 salmons on hand so that they can have scrambled eggs and salmon in the morning because they filled up on the salad bar.
Let's just try it.
Anyone else have questions?
Since
Just a minute, Cynthia. Just a minute, Cynthia.
Since the tavern doesn't have a salad bar, does this apply to the tavern as well?
So to answer your question, right now the tavern's closed. When it reopens, we're looking at a little bit of a different animal.
For lunch, there will be a salad bar in the space behind us. So in the tavern, there will be a salad bar for lunch. And
Surprise.
and when you're looking at that dinner menu is going to take away, hopefully, any desire for a salad bar. We're looking at making it
Restaurant style.
Steak. With steaks, and as Brent said, land and sea, or land and gulf, or any which way you want to cut it, so that we actually have the options there for an upscale meal. And, you know, I mean, let's be honest, let's use Bascom's as an option. Do you go to Bascom's and say, well, where's your salad bar? I never would. So, and we're looking at that variety.
Then those steaks, which might obviously a la carte have a lot higher cost, is that still a meal of the day
Yes.
without an upcharge?
Higher.
We will not get into the minutia.
We're not talking about.
We will not get into the minutia of the new menu in the space behind it. We will not get into it. It is not the time or the place. Just trust me. We are doing our due diligence to make sure that everybody enjoys themselves.
You can have the steak as a meal of the day, they just didn't say what kind of steak.
There you go. It ain't a chop steak, and we're not talking about the menu. Believe me, when the menu rolls out, you'll be very happy with it. Extremely happy. Please, let's just.
That's a good steak.
Okay, you'll be happy with it. You're not going to be disappointed.
Are there any other questions?
Done. Did I take leftovers home from the tavern?
No.
No.
All right,
Just a
Brent.
minute, I have, there's another question.
All right, dining team, thank you. Thank you.
Just a minute, Earl has a question. His hand was up.
Hello, my name is Earl. Is this on? Can you hear me?
Speak
Oh,
louder.
this way? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, in this day and age where costs are coming, most of the transportation costs are not just cost. We're losing a lot of food out in the fields. And because we can't get them to us, because we didn't have the transportation. And I understand what particular dilemma. But I also understand that we have a greenhouse out here and it's not being used, and we could make a lot of our foods, our fresh foods, come from the greenhouse. In the greenhouse right now, I have, we're going to seed now, but I have a lot of East Thai basil that I've offered to you guys before, and you just said, oh, talk to somebody in the garden. And you don't need to talk to anybody.
Our herbs are not the issue. Our herbs are really a pretty good
Let
price.
me finish, please.
Sure.
You always interrupt.
Go ahead, Earl.
The idea of having these things and other vegetables in there are the most important thing for us to have happening. We have a situation that is very difficult in Ukraine. Now, that's making a lot of possibilities almost impossible, and will be for a long time. So we have to think about cyber attack and storms, and whatever we can build here and decentralize our food and our energy, we're going to survive. If we don't do that, and there's cyber attacks, you won't get any food. You won't have any electricity, you won't be able to cook anything. So think about it. I've had this for a long time. Please consider that.
All right, thank you. One last thing, just wanted to, Margaret has helped us by preparing a 3-page document that summarizes this program. The dining team and I have all had an opportunity to look at it. She's done a great job of pulling this together. This is ready for distribution. We wanted to wait until after we had an opportunity to talk today. So we will be getting these printed and in your mailboxes this week. This is a really good summary. Margaret, thank you for all your hard work and pulling this together for us. Just a real quick COVID update before we break. I'm always talking about positivity rate. Well, they've changed the positivity rate, and they have now gone to a color-coded system. They've dummied it down so that everyone can understand it, but it's now like green and yellow and orange and pink and then red. Here in Pinellas County, we are pink. We're at the second highest level. It's called substantial. That's the name they have given it. And we anticipate by the end of this week, Pinellas County is going to be in the critical stage. So it is really rampant out there. You know that we had 5 cases in the north building week before last, 5 cases in the south building last week, and yesterday we had 4 cases on Monday alone in the independent living. 3 were from the south, 1 was from the north. So we're monitoring it. We are doing our contact tracing. If there was an exposure, we have contacted you. If we haven't reached out to you, you were not exposed. But just be aware of the fact that BA2, that's the variant that's out there right now, and it's substantial. So just be aware of that. And if you have flu-like symptoms, please notify Marie. We will come up and test you in your apartment. We have all the testing equipment we need. And so if you are symptomatic or just concerned, please, to help keep all of us safe, if you're symptomatic, give us a call. We'll come up and do a real quick test on you, okay? All right, yes, sir.
Is it time for the 4th shot?
Great question. So is it time for the 4th booster? My thinking on this right now is I want to see, we went from 0 to 60 in like 2 days. And so I just want to see if this is a spike or if this trend is going to keep going up or if it's going to come back down. If this trend keeps going up and we see this continue for 10 to 14 days, my thinking is that we probably do need to do the additional booster now. If it drops back down to where it was a week ago, we probably can extend. So sort of an impartial answer, but let's see where we are 10 days from now. All right. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you coming out.